We're live. We're officially live. We're actually live. Awesome.
Yeah.
All right.
You are live. You are live. Just sent out.
I am
Welcome,
live.
everybody. Welcome, everybody.
We are testing our live streaming. So bear with us. All right. But you know what Sunday is, right? Brian?
Sunday is the Super Bowl.
All right. So that's what I wanted to talk about.
Yeah, not really my sport, but yeah, it's the Super Bowl.
But why do I watch the Super Bowl? You want to know?
I
bet you can guess.
I bet I could guess the ads. The ads.
Yes. Just like a lot of us out there. So I was thinking about advertisements, right? I came across an article yesterday, and Wharton marketing school professor he did a study about, kind of what makes, what's the correlation between video ads and sharing? So kind of like what makes somebody share a video ad. It's kind of a different approach because, look, you want people to watch your ads, right? I mean, that's kind of the segue to the purchase, right? So you want people to watch your ads, but what makes an ad shareable? And I was like, wow, I know some ads that I've shared before, and I've, sent people and been like, hey, you've got to watch this commercial. I love it, and I know you're not as big into commercials as I am. But
I'm like weird with commercials. Like I start doing other stuff during commercials. Like I'll start reading a book, even if it's like 2 pages or like, crazy stuff. I don't know. I'm just weird with it.
All right. Well, I have a couple of favorite commercials. I know you have a commercial that you really liked, even though you're not big on commercials.
I got a couple of them.
And I wanted to talk about our favorite commercials, what we like about them, right? And then I want the types of content we share in general, because I think when you put together the stuff that, you really like in a commercial, couple that with the stuff that you like to share, there's some valuable information there.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you 100%. I agree with you 100%. I think, okay.
Well, I want to kick off with my favorite commercial because I love this commercial, and I'm really super excited about it. So, and it makes me cry, but I'm not going to cry. I'm not going to cry today.
Oh man, you're going to cry. You're totally crying. You're totally crying. For all those who are watching, trust me, comment. If you see a tear, let us know that she's crying. Let me know. Let me know.
All right. So here we go. You ready? Can you see my screen?
Yep.
All right. Get ready for it.
Oh, no, it's not. Hold on. It's not, hold on. Let's see. There we go.
There you go. Okay. Tell me when you're ready, Brian.
Oh, the Budweiser commercial.
You ready to see this?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Get ready. Where's my audio, man?
All right, but I know what you're talking about. I know what this commercial is, right? This is the Budweiser commercial where the horse is born. Totally a tearjerker. Totally a tearjerker.
All right.
And welcome to everyone who's joining. There's actually quite a few people coming into the live stream. Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right.
I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm not sure why you're...
Very upset, but at least here we go.
Yeah, I think you're having some technical difficulties over there on your stream.
At a show, he's in a parade, right? And then, the horse. He thinks that the horse is too cool for him. Oh, I hear it. You hear it? Yeah. I'm gonna cry. I am going to cry because I've seen the commercials so much time.
Okay, so this is a great. Unfortunately, it's not sharing, but this is a great song. I know what commercial you're talking about with the Clydesdale. This is actually a great Fleetwood Mac song that I think just makes people cry in general. So this is a great song.
True.
Yeah.
Anyway, so what do I love about that commercial other than the horse, right? And the baby, and he raises the baby. It's a story, right? It's a story. And I like to talk about storytelling. And so I like the story there. And it makes me feel kind of like sad, but warm and fuzzy at the same time. And actually what they found in that study, it's surprising that don't actually share sad content as much as other content, right? Happy content, angry content, that kind of thing. So it was a little surprising to me, but I see where they're going with it. Nobody wants to bring everyone, wants to be brought down all the time anyway. Wow, it's super sunny. Isn't that beautiful? So I was thinking a little bit about another commercial that I like, and I don't know if you've ever seen the Diet Pepsi commercial. It's a football commercial, and Diet Pepsi gets drafted. The Diet Pepsi machine gets drafted. And all the people are cheering on the field, first draft pick, and screaming "machine, machine, machine." And that's not as sad, right? That's not sad at all.
No, that's
totally
not
different end of the
spectrum. Yeah, that one's not sad at all. What's funny is one of my favorite commercials is a Coke commercial. So that's interesting that we both pick soda companies.
Soda companies, right? Competitors.
Yeah.
And what's yours about?
So let me see if I could share my screen. I know you were having a little bit of technical difficulty on this, and this is a new platform for us. So let's see, share. Okay. Hopefully you guys could see my screen. Let's see when it goes over. It is, I know you could see it. I'm waiting for it to show up on the live feed because it is a little bit delayed. Okay, here we go. So this is before my time, but this song was probably around for 10, 15 years. So I'm just going to let it play out. Now, although the 70s sort of looked like a cult when you sort of think about it right here. And okay. So that's one of the commercials. I remember being a kid and that being one of the commercials that was on all the time. I think every kid knew that song, right? Every kid knew that song. So you just remember that. And, I think the nice part about that, so I'm trying to stop the screen over here from playing again. But basically, I think we want to hear it again. I know it just keeps going. But I think what it was is, as a kid, the message was there, right? We're all one world, we're all one. So there was a nice message. And I know, we're talking about messaging, right? And this wasn't a message, of the motivation here was really just be a good person, right? Be kind. Everyone, enjoy everyone that's in your life or everyone you're experiencing. And I think that was sort of the message we got when we were kids with this.
So then to piggyback then on that original, the initial concept, let's switch to the types of content that you share personally.
Right.
What types of, what will you look at and be like, I've got to share this on social media or I send it to someone or something? What is it? What type of stuff do you see?
For me, it's things that are funny, right? To me, I know some people, it's things that it's motivation or it's funny. To me, those are probably the two things I share the most. If I find something funny, I will absolutely share it. I will like it. I will engage with it. If it makes me laugh, even for a couple of seconds, I will share that out. To me, that's one of the biggest things, which actually sort of brings me to my second commercial, which is one of the commercial series I like. I'm just going to add it to the stream right now real quick, but hold on and let me play it. So basically, if you're familiar with like the all the Allstate commercials with Mayhem, like they're just funny to me, like because he makes believe he's things he really isn't, and he's just Mayhem, right? What is?
And if you got your home insurance where you got your 15-minute car insurance, you could be paying for this yourself. Get Allstate. You can save money and be better protected from the boom. For me,
the whole Mayhem series, I think is pretty funny, just because it's a concept that a human being has become mayhem, which is a abstract thing, right? In some ways, but the fact that this human being sort of represents that thought, and obviously for car insurance or home insurance, I should say, it makes complete sense, So it was just a very creative commercial, and it was funny. Like most of them are really funny, and they make you chuckle for a second. And to me, funny things, make me laugh. Or if it has like a dog in it, if it has a dog in it, I'll pretty much share it. So.
So then, all right. So let's look at that. So the types of ads we just talked about, funny ads, right? And, kind of good-natured, be a good human kind of ads. We also had and Machine is funny, right? I mean, that's kind of funny, the whole concept of drafting a soda machine, that goes into funny. And then there's that Budweiser commercial, which really pulls on your heartstrings, I think. And it's just really
Budweiser. Yeah, I think Budweiser always comes out with a great commercial for Super Bowl. They have great holiday ones. They seem to just, it seems to be almost like a tradition, right? I think, we sort of view it as a tradition, like having those Budweiser commercials around the holidays or around the Super Bowl seems to just be sort of part of culture these days,
Yeah. So those are the types of ads that we like. But, and then when we look at what types of content we share, you talked about motivation, humor.
Right.
And I'd say for me, there are certain types of content that I share. And I was telling you about this earlier. Actually, in that study I'm talking about, what they found was that content angers people or disgusts people is also high up on the shareable scale. And I'd say sometimes I do that. I share content that makes me angry sometimes from a personal perspective, because, not only am I angry and now I just want to, I want to educate people about this thing that's making me angry, but also I kind of, I want people to be like, yeah, I'm angry too, me too. So like, I want some validation there. Like get on the bandwagon, like, and like advise about whatever this issue is in the world. But then there's also, content that I think is just, educational, good to know, and just something that I found that I didn't know. And I was like, oh, wow, this is really interesting. I didn't know this. Here, you guys learn it too.
Right.
I'd say that.
Here's a question. Here's a question I have too, right? So you're sharing content, and I agree. I think things that light a fire under people, like make them angry or get them worked up, especially if it's very, look, I don't want to get into politics or anything, but eventually, like politically motivated stuff, like it gets people excited. It gets people, wanting to get into that conversation, right? Because, everyone has opinions and views and things like that. But I think, here's the thing. Here's my question. What's your favorite way to share content, right? Like, so it's interesting because now that we're talking about this, I noticed like with certain groups of friends, I share content a very different way. Like, so for instance, with my jujitsu friends, we send a lot of videos and things like that to each other, or even posts, like social posts, but we have a tendency to text them to each other, right? Whereas usually if it's like general broadcasted out there, work stuff, we'll use social channels, even personal stuff. Sometimes you use social channels, but I also started realizing there's different ways I communicate my message depending on the group of people I'm communicating with.
Right. No, I agree. There's stuff that I share with groups of people via text that I would never share, you know, in a social, on a social platform.
Right.
You know, but there are some stuff that you cross-pollinate, I think, you know, especially if you want to get large groups of people to open their eyes, right? If you want to spark some sort of excitement. But I'd say mostly that educational stuff, if it's very general, I would drop in a more broad audience. But if it's more of that stuff that's kind of personal or makes me angry or something that I don't want to, you know, offend people or whatever it might be, I might just share that with one person or a group of people, you know. So yeah, there are different ways. I'd say that I should share content.
Now, I know you were reading a study. What did they say is the most shared content? What was the most shared type of content in that study?
I can pull it up. Let's see. Where are you, Wharton? Okay. So emotions and sharing. All right. So we've got positive emotions like awe, excitement, and humor increase sharing. And negative emotions like anger, anxiety, and disgust increase sharing. And positive emotions like contentment decrease sharing. And negative emotions like sadness decrease sharing.
Now that's interesting. Things that make you sad, you know, less people want to share it, right? You know, that's interesting. And
actually,
because
the content, being content, like you said this before, the professor here who did the study, he says feeling content isn't going to make people share. You have to fire them up. So
yeah, absolutely.
Just like feel good, like this is good. Nobody really wants to share that.
Yeah, no, I agree. I guess if things are sort of mediocre, right? If it's in content, you know, if people are content with it, it definitely makes it harder for people to, you know, people to get motivated by it, right? If it's okay, it's even keel stuff. I mean, even educational content, it's interesting too, because a lot of times we read educational content, but do we share it? I know you talked about that. It's interesting because I also feel like depending on what type of education is, because we all have different aspects of our lives, like, you know, we're into whatever technology or we're into marketing or our job is this type of stuff. And you may share with different groups, you know, that educational content, because that, you know, it's interesting when you look at that, because usually a particular group of people with particular interests will share education content in a given space, you know?
Right. Well, I'd say something broad, like maybe I've learned something about, you know, I learned that donkeys can stand upside down for 10 minutes without, you know,
Damn it, Igor, why didn't you ever tell us that?
Right. So, I mean, maybe that's, I'm like, wow, that's interesting, you know? And I'm like, hey guys, you know, I'll share that broadly, because that's like, wow, did anybody else know this? You know, that's pretty cool. Or, you know, that's interesting. Just interesting. That's pretty interesting. Or, you know, when it comes to things maybe about parenting, or, you know, certain studies that are out there, or, you know, and those studies maybe something that I know a lot of people struggle with, right? But to your point, you know, maybe it's because I'm in certain parenting groups, and so I've heard about some of the struggles. I share it broadly too, because if those people are struggling with it, maybe other people are struggling with it and can't, you know, and aren't talking about it.
Right, because wouldn't it really be, I mean, think about it, if you're sharing something on parenting, I mean, maybe you would share it to your general audience, like your Facebook, you know, friends or something like that, or even, but a lot of times you would focus that in a group, you know, people that have similar interests. So it's interesting because you know, with the educational content, it almost seems like it needs to be sort of targeted, if that makes sense. You know, I know this wasn't really the topic we started with, right? But
I think it just depends on your general audience, like you personally, I think, you know.
Yeah, absolutely.
But so the point I wanted to make, and I want, you know, I don't want to drag, but the point I want to make, and what I think we need to look at real quick, is if you combine the things that make a great ad, the characteristics we've deemed, right, as great, and then you combine that with the types of content we like to share, is it that the intersection is the sweet spot then? Right. Like if you just merge those characteristics into some sort of advertisement, like, are you more likely to get ads that are shareable?
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think it's basically, so you're looking at good content, right? Or content that motivates, inspires, whatever, causes action. And then you're really talking about, the basically wanting to share it, right? So you could watch something and it can make you angry, sad, but if you're not sharing it, right? So it has to have some validity in the content, or something that so aligns with you or makes you upset that you want to share it out, so other people, well, maybe not upset, but whatever, inspired, doesn't matter what it is, but pushes it to the point where you actually, other people get motivated to actually share it, not just okay, let me like it, let me engage with it. They want to act on it.
Well, then let me ask you a question. So, like, my favorite Budweiser commercial.
Mm-hmm.
It tugs at those heartstrings. It's a great story, but does it really make me more inclined to buy a Budweiser? I don't know. I'm not so sure.
But here's the thing: just because a company sells something, right, doesn't mean that their message is necessarily about the product, right? And that's, we talk about it all the time. That's content marketing. It's getting some content out that actually is shareable, is interesting to people, causes emotion, whatever that emotion is, right? And then really it's like you remembering, oh, Coke made me feel good, or oh, Budweiser made me feel good, and I got to buy beer for this whatever party I'm going to, or I got to buy, some soda for my kids, or whatever you're doing, and going, you know what, let me grab Coke because they made me feel good, right? You're associating those memories or those emotions with that brand. And then once you're associating the memories and the emotions, what's happening is you're making that connection. And hopefully when you go to the store, you're going to purchase those things, right? That's really sort of the concept of content marketing in a nutshell.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I agree. I guess it would be interesting to see how you can combine all those characteristics to really compel people to go buy your product, right? Like, and in a more action focused way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
So that's something that we should noodle on, I think.
Yeah. And for those of you who joined us today, we're going to be doing more and more lives on a weekly basis. So make sure you subscribe to our channel, so that way you get notified when we do them.
All right. You think we should do them on Fridays? Fridays seem like a good day.
Fridays is a good day. Yeah, why not? Fridays, we'll definitely create the schedule time.
All right, cool.
Well, thank you everyone for joining us, and have a great day.